Successes in the manhunting of terrorists in the northeast as troops cleared dozens of insurgents and recover weapons. Plus, House Committee on Education meets Osun State Governor. These and more on Panorama today, reaching live from Abuja. I'm Elizabeth Omori. We'll be right back. The Nigerian Navy says it has expanded its policy and operations to effectively tackle insecurity in the maritime space. Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Awa Gambo, who said this during his familiarization tour of units and establishments at the Eastern Naval Command in Calabar, notes that the action is in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's order to restore the nation's security. Justina Aitam reports.
The familiarization visits took the Chief of Naval Staff to units and establishments, which include the Nigerian Navy Secondary School, Akbabuyo, the sites for the proposed Naval War College, the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital, and more. Addressing officers and ratings, the Chief of Naval Staff harps on professionalism and integrity, warning that the Nigerian Navy will not hesitate to sanction personnel who collude with criminal elements to perpetrate oil thefts, kidnapping, economic sabotage, and other crimes within the maritime space.
We intend to fill the gaps where we observe operationally because our operations are very dynamic, and we re-strategize as the challenges vary.
The Chief of Naval Staff also disclosed that the Nigerian Navy will ensure the upgrade of facilities and equipment at the reference hospital, as well as capacity building of personnel.
I shall ensure our engineering personnel are availed requisite training, facility upgrade and repair kits to enable them undertake basic first-line maintenance.
The Chief of Naval Staff also reiterates that personnel who excel in their duties will be rewarded. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
Into the oil and gas, Nigeria is utilizing both local and international expertise and skills to fully harness gas resources in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari said this at the launch of the Decade of Gas Development Conference holding in Abuja. President Buhari, while acknowledging the contributions of gas resources in economic development, assured of supporting the sector with requisite infrastructure for its success. He said with the global challenges affecting the economy, now is the time to expand all sources of wealth creation.
It was a bold statement to demonstrate the resolve of this administration that gas development and utilization should be a national priority to stimulate economic growth, further improve Nigeria's energy mix, drive investments, and provide the much-needed jobs for our citizens in the country.
Other speakers are of the view that Nigeria is putting more energy in the realization of gas development in Nigeria.
The outlook sees natural gas as the fastest growing fossil fuel over the forecast period, driven by higher urbanization rates, industrial demand, and its competitiveness over coal in power generation.
The AKK project is government's decisive response to the infrastructural deficit in the gas sector.
As the world transits to cleaner energy, Nigeria is surely set to play a strategic role in the new world energy order.
And away from oil and gas, as part of our oversight function in sync to the development of every education subsector in Nigeria, the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education visited Osun State to assess the utilization of the matching grant accrued to the state from the federal government. Joshua Ogunjide reports that Governor Oyetola hosted the committee.
The delegation of the Green Chambers Committee on Basic Education, led by Honorable Usman Zana, affirms the need to a certain degree of the utilization of the matching grants given to Osun State and to assess progress in areas of infrastructure, capacity building of teachers, as well as rural development. With the promotion of the school feeding program and the execution of about 1,000 projects within 2 years of the Gboyega Oyetola-led administration in Osun, the committee believes there is room for improvement.
Some states have yet to assess the matching grant, but here in Osun, we believe the grant has been assessed from 2005 to 2019.
While expressing appreciation for prompt release of UBEC fund, Oyetola appealed to the committee to ensure access to UBEC fund without necessarily seeking matching grant in order to upgrade the level of basic education in Osun in particular and other states across the Federation in general.
It's not that all the states that have not assessed are not willing, but it's tough. If you must assess, we don't have the fund, borrow, we're going to pay so much money in terms of interest. And so if you put it in as part of your budget, it becomes a major issue. So it's something that you might want to consider moving forward.
The committee wants all states to emulate the giant stride taken in the development of basic education by the Osun State government, charging them to, as a matter of urgency, access the utilization of the grants as well. In Osogbo, Joshua Ogunjide, NTA News.
National leader of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has advocated the need for Nigerians to unite towards addressing the nation's developmental challenges rather than promoting ethnic, religious or sectional interest. He was speaking during a courtesy visit to the Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu is in Kano on a two-day visit to attend his 69th birthday colloquium and interact with people of the state with a view to promoting national cohesion.
To sustain a bridge of peace, prosperity, harmony, tolerance.
National interest, he stressed, should be prioritized by every patriotic citizen for the country to achieve its development goals. Emir Amina Ado Bayero commended the bridge builder role of the APC leader, describing him as a true patriot and statesman. Thereafter, Senator Tinubu inaugurated the remodeled office complex of the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission. He also inspected other mega projects of the Ganduje administration, including bridges, ultra-modern cancer treatment facility, and the Aliko Dangote Skills Acquisition Center. Senator Bola Tinubu enjoined people of Kano to continue to support Governor Ganduje's move to take the state to the next level. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
To politics and governance, the APC leader in Akwa Ibom State and Minister of Niger Delta, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has urged stakeholders to work together in a renewed effort to build a strong party in Akwa Ibom State ahead of the 2023 general election. He was speaking at the party's stakeholders meeting in Uyo. Kelvin Samuel reports.
The stakeholders meeting of the All Progressives Congress Akwa Ibom State became necessary as a platform to unify, strategize and re-strengthen the party in the state by creating level playing ground as well as giving its leaders their rightful place in order to take them to the desired destination with 2023 general election in view. A move stakeholders say is in the right direction and for the benefit of all.
You have a great man, you have a man that is a leader, you have a man that has a lion heart. The gospel that you have, they stands for a lot of things. If you want to live Nigeria, you live Nigeria. If you want to live Akwa Ibom, you live Akwa Ibom. If you live Akwa Ibom must be Akwa Ibom.
The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, whose actions were obviously missed by the people, assured them that he is fully prepared to take the party to its rightful place in the state. He called on all party men and women to unite and join hands in repositioning the party while avoiding everything that could bring division among stakeholders.
We are going to surprise those who want to be surprised. We have the capacity, we have the followership, and we have the intellect, and we have all it takes to win election for the APC in Akwa Ibom State.
1 minute silence was observed in respect to the late APC State Chairman, Ini Okubido, while his widow was given support to help take care of the children's education. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
And the All Progressives Congress APC stalwarts and other stakeholders from the South Zone have converged on Asaba, the Delta State capital, for a review of the party's constitution to reposition it for better service delivery. Rosemary Omani reports that the Deputy Senate President, Ovie Omo Agege, was the chief host of the event.
In the interest of the All Progressives Congress, APC, the who is who in the South Zone of the party, the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, represented by the former APC Acting National Chairman, Chief Victor Giadom, as well as the National Chairman of the Constitution Review Committee, Professor Tahiu Mamman, deliberated for a better and stronger working document for the party. The stakeholders, identifying some loopholes in the party's constitution under review, made some amendments. They say end result is a constitution which will put to rest issue of disputes and serve as a role model to all parties world over.
The decision of the national leadership of our party to review the party's constitution was born out of the imperative of receiving contributions at the grassroots level in order to come up with a working document that will not only be beneficial to all members of the party, but provide equal opportunities for all.
We all need to know, from the local government, state, up to the federal level, every person, as you are able to understand, know what is in the Bible, what is in the Quran, you should also, members should also be conversant with the provisions of the Constitution.
There was an interactive session where party faithful did not only make recommendations for the amendments, but also drew the attention of the chief host and the national chairman of the Constitution Review Committee to some ill practices at some state levels. The amendment exercise is expected to be rounded off before the next national convention of the party in Asaba. I am Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
And the People's Democratic Party says it has not taken any decision on any of the recommendations proposed by the Senator Bala Mohammed-led PDP committee on the review of the 2019 elections. Timothy Yusuf reports that the clarification is coming on the heels of speculations that the party has already taken a position.
The Senator Bala Mohammed Committee on the review of the 2019 elections was to identify factors that contributed to the party's failure in that presidential election and as well profile the way forward. The PDP notes that the recommendations will be subjected to its democratic process by relevant organs of the party and consultation.
It starts from today. We must sink our differences.
Meanwhile, a pro-Igbo for President group ahead of the 2023 general elections is asking the People's Democratic Party to trash the Governor Bala Mohammed-led committee report, which recommends the scrapping of zoning in the 2023 general elections.
Since we have decided to be a country, let us have one.
In another development, the National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee of the People's Democratic Party has recommended that any aspirant seeking to contest for elective position on the platform of the party who is under the age of 35 should be exempted from the payment of nomination fees. Chairman of the committee and former Senate President Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki made a recommendation to Prince Uche Secondus, the PDP National Chairman. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
National Chairman of the Action Democratic Party, Bagi Sani, is advocating for the consideration of involvement of communities in security, surveillance and policing, such as the use of hunters and local vigilantes that have proved to be rewarding in many instances of their engagements. Timothy Yusuf reports that some other political parties are calling for sanctions on any party leader whose supporters are found culpable for criminal activities.
On banditry, kidnapping and other violent crimes across the country, the Action Democratic Party says it aligns with the clamor for the decentralization of the Nigeria Police Force, with states and local councils having their police formations as obtained in most countries of the modern world.
Now that the National Assembly has embarked on another effort at constitutional amendment, the ADP calls on the lawmakers to consider amending relevant sections of the law on the
police.
National Chairman of the African Action Congress, who also chairs the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Dr. Leonard Zenwa, and the presidential candidate of the People's Trust in the 2019 general elections, Gbenga Olawepo Hashim, are calling on all patriotic Nigerians to unite and forestall what they described as very tempting campaign by desperate forces of separation to break up Nigeria.
What we ask every Nigerian is that this country has got to be one first before you have politics.
Our ethnicity and diversity is not the problem. What we need to fix are the challenges our country faces.
They also explains that a united Nigeria still remains the best alternative. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
You're watching Panorama, reaching you live from Abuja. Let's pause for some messages. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, a bit of security. Troops of Operation LAFIYA DOLE have eliminated 48 Boko Haram terrorists and rescued 12 abducted victims from the criminals. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Muhammad Yerima says the operation that spanned through Chibok axis led to the recovery of several arms. Brigadier General Yerima notes that troops are presently dominating the area with aggressive patrols and on trail of fleeing terrorists. For disease control has confirmed 104 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. In the latest figures released by the Center, Lagos has 48 new infections, Enugu 16, Kwara 8, Kaduna 6, Plateau and Kano states have 5 each, Rivers, FCT and Ogun have 4 each. Edo has 2, while Ekiti and Katsina states have 1 new case each. Nigeria now has 162,593 confirmed cases of COVID-19, out of which 150,308 were treated and discharged, while 2,048 persons died of the virus. And in its efforts to improve health and safety from COVID-19 in workplaces, the Federal Fire Service has embarked on fumigation of some public offices and spaces in Ogun State to curtail the spread of the second wave of coronavirus pandemic. Yemi Dalema reports that the exercise will last 2 weeks.
The exercise is in response to the federal government's directive that all public offices and spaces should be disinfected across the country, in addition to the safety guidelines and AstraZeneca vaccination against the spread of COVID-19.
We have to see that all agencies, ministries, parastatals are well fumigated against this COVID-19. The chemical involved is much more active on the COVID itself than on the health of human beings.
Heads of offices fumigated, which include NTA, Abuja, Ogun State headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Ogun State NYSC camp, among others, commended the initiative.
It's something that will help in containing the spread of COVID-19, so we are excited about it. We've been assured that it's not injurious to our health.
In our houses and our environment, we should try and fumigate so as to cast away unseen agents of destruction.
They emphasized the need by Nigerians to continue with non-pharmaceutical guidelines in preventing the spread of COVID-19. In Abuja, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
Now to activities in the maritime domain. Attempts to expand operations in Nigeria's maritime sector appear to be paying off, with the maiden loading of a chartered 7,000 metric tons capacity vessel from the Calabar port. This development is in line with the directive of the President Muhammad Buhari-led administration to ensure Nigeria ranks among top 100 countries of the world on the ease of doing business by 2023. Maureen Leo Ajum reports.
The Calabar port has for some years now suffered economic setbacks occasioned by the challenge of low depth and narrow channels. These challenges, which also contributed to the congestion of the Apapa port, made the federal government to prioritize the restructuring of the nation's seaports. Today, the Calabar port is not only a beneficiary of the gesture. It is set for an increase in its operations, although it is still awaiting dredging. The chartered 7,000 metric tons capacity vessel from Calabar to the United States of America, stakeholders say, will not only decongest the Apapa port, but it also has prospects to open the economy of the South-South region of the country towards improved contribution to international trade and job creation potential.
We are expecting trade to grow significantly, and based on that, our logistics and multimodal transportation system needs to be as efficient to ensure that we get the maximum value for those expected growth in trade.
I want to call on the federal government, please let the dredging of Calabar Port be expedited. Let whatever legal issues, please, be settled.
Others noted the Calabar Port will also enhance the federal government's diversification drive while promoting non-oil exports. For the Cross River State government, the prospects of having the Calabar Port function in this capacity are enormous and appeal for expedited action by the federal government in the dredging of the Calabar Channel. Stakeholders stated their readiness to attract investors to the Calabar Port. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
In talking sports, 25 goals scored in Nigeria's top domestic football league. As Amanza Marcus brings us details on Sports Updates.
It was a harvest of goals Sunday at the LAFIYA Township Stadium, with Nasarawa United winning 5-3 against Abuja Warriors in the biggest win of Week 18. Lobby Stars lost away to Aqua United in Uyo 3-0 as Plateau United earned all 3 points in a 2-1 victory over Enugu Rangers in Jos. Kwara United got the only away win in Katsina, with the home side Katsina United losing 1-2. The strict quarantine rules in Australia, which has helped the country maintain a low COVID-19 infection rate, means that world number 1 Ashley Barty may not return home until after the end of the 2021 tennis season. She was speaking after a 6-3, 6-2 victory over Yelena Ostapenko at the Miami Open, where she is the defending champion. Obviously, with the quarantine laws in Australia, we do our 2 weeks quarantine in a hotel, and there is actually not a lot of space in the season to be able to do that just to get home for the 2 weeks. Meanwhile, British boxer Dillian Whyte is on his way to having a shot at the heavyweight world title after knocking out the Russian Alexander Povetkin in a rematch decided in Gibraltar. The impressive record of the Russian is now dented the more, having only lost to Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko in 39 fights. The result is also an answer to critics who had questioned the timing of the rematch after Povetkin knocked out Whyte in August 2020. "I am just sad I didn't get it finished in the first round," said Whyte, but his promoter is happy all the way. He manhandled Povetkin. He battered him from pillar to post. We are back where we wanted to be. The aim remains the same, for Dillian to have a shot at the World Championship. The Sports Update, Manzi Marcus, NTA News.
And Sports Update ends Panorama this afternoon. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Don't forget, the easiest way to becoming a star is to connect with us at the NTA, Stand Against Rape and Rapists. Good afternoon.